Have you ever sat down at your keyboard and you played a chord like a C major chord and you thought, hey, I want to improvise over this chord. I want to play something really beautiful in my right hand. And perhaps you picked a scale like the major scale and you started improvising, but after a while it started to sound a little bit repetitive. Well, in today's lesson, I want to teach you 5 amazing scales that you can use over any major chord. And once you've learned these scales, I promise your improvisations will sound completely different. I think you're really going to enjoy this lesson. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, I'm so excited to help you take your improvisation to the next level. And where I want to start is show you how an amateur improviser might improvise. So they might take a C major chord and they just might play a C major scale, which is all white notes. And they might improvise like this. Right? And you know, this doesn't sound bad, but if you're improvising like this, there is so much more that you can do. So I'm going to show you these 5 amazing scales, but before we do this, if you're enjoying the lesson, please hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. All right, scale number 1 is one of my all-time favorite scales. I call this the heaven scale, and it sounds like this. So as you can see, this scale has a beautiful sound, and surprisingly, it actually uses several of the notes of the C major scale, but what makes this scale sound so magical is actually the notes that you remove from the C major scale. So check this out. We're going to play the C, the D, the G, and the B. Listen to that chord. Isn't that gorgeous? And if you play it over a C major, you can really hear all of these beautiful tones. So what we're actually doing is we're removing the 3rd, the 4th, and the 6th of the major scale. And by doing this, you really emphasize some of the most beautiful notes of the C major scale. Right? If you look at this chord that I'm playing, there are 2 notes that don't belong in the C major chord, the D and the B. So I actually call these the money notes. These are kind of the little extra notes that you can add to a scale or to a chord to make them sound really beautiful. And these notes are specifically the 2nd note of the scale and the 7th note of the scale. Now, the best way to learn how to improvise using this heaven scale is to use what I call grips. And there are basically 2 positions that you want to focus your right hand in. The first one has the D on the bottom, so you're going to play it like this. And then the second one has the B on the bottom, so you're going to play it like this. So whenever I'm improvising using this heaven scale, I'm going to shift between these 2 positions as I'm making up different lines. Here's a quick example. See what I'm doing? By the way, I call the bottom grip the D grip because we have the D on the bottom, and then I call this grip the B grip because we have the B on the bottom. So make sure you're comfortable with these grips, and once you are, let's play with the included backing track, and I'll show you some cool improvisation tricks. Here we go. Here it is. Pick a grip you like, maybe the D grip, and just play some little lines. There's the B grip. See what I'm doing? I'm moving between my grips. I'm doing little turns. By the way, I wanted to mention that you can download the backing tracks for this lesson, plus you can download the lesson sheet music you're seeing on the top left of your screen, and you can change the key of this entire lesson with a click of 1 button with our smart sheet music, so I'll put a link to those below. All right, scale number 2 is called the Lydian Scale, and it is a beautiful scale. Check it out. gonna sound beautiful. And what makes this scale sound so magical is that you're actually adding a note that does not belong to the C major scale. You're gonna add an F sharp to the C major scale. So in other words, we're gonna go C, D, E, F sharp, and then G, A, B. And so what this does is it gives it a very kind of magical sound. This sharp 4 just has a kind of a magical sound to it. It's a ton of fun to play. So the two grips that you need to know for this scale, you have the C grip, which is basically the first 5 notes of your C major scale, and then your G grip, which are the top 5 notes starting from G. And so these are the two grips that you want to get really comfortable with. In other words, when I'm improvising, I'm basically creating little lines in each of these grips. So here's a quick little example. There's my C grip, now my G grip. Okay, and I'm going to go down my C grip, and G grip, and now my C grip. You see what I'm doing? So you want to get comfortable switching between your grips and playing little lines. Now you might be thinking, Johnny, what's a line when you're talking about improvisation? And a line is like a short little musical sentence, meaning once you play a little melody, you want to give a little break, a little pause, and then play your next melody. All right, let's go ahead and improvise with the included backing track, and I'll show you some tricks. Here we go. Pick a grip, maybe the C grip, and move down to the G grip. Maybe down to the C grip. Be creative with your rhythms. See what I'm doing? I'm also doing some little emphasis on certain notes. Don't be afraid to land on non-chord tones like the F sharp. All right, before I teach you the next scale, if you want to do a deep dive on how to improvise with your Lydian scale, you want to learn a bunch of really cool techniques, how to use it over different chords, check out our Lydian scale improvisation course. I'll put a link to that below. All right, you are rocking and rolling, and you are ready for scale number 3. I love this scale. It is the major blues scale, and it sounds like this. I love to use this scale anytime I'm improvising over a major chord in a more upbeat style. And it also has kind of a bluesier sound to it. So anytime you want a bluesy sound or you're improvising over a tune that's a little more upbeat, the major blues scale is an awesome scale. By the way, I also call this the gospel scale. It's a very, very important scale to know. And it's actually a simple scale. So the scale only has 6 notes. We have C, D, D sharp, and then we have E, G, A, and then if you want to continue the scale up, you'd go C, D, D sharp, E, G, A. Okay, very simple 6-note scale. And again, it has a very bluesy sound to it because it has this E flat, which does not belong to your C major scale. It's actually called a blue note, or kind of a darker note, a minor note. So it's a great note that you can add into your improvisation. Okay, so for this scale, I do recommend that you practice it in 2 grips. So the first grip, you're gonna put your thumb on the C, and you're just gonna play these 3 notes, okay? It's really simple. And then for the second grip, you're gonna play these 3 notes, E, G, and A, okay? So I call this the C grip, and then I call this the E grip. And then if you were to continue up the piano, you'd do C and you'd do E. And once you're feeling pretty comfortable with these 2 grips, you can start to improvise with this scale. So I recommend that you go slowly, and you wanna practice building some little lines. So you might start on your C grip, and then go down to your E grip. And you want to play those short little lines. You can do little slides. It's like an upslide to the D flat, or you can do an upslide to the E, okay? I also like to sometimes slide the A like this. Kind of has a funky sound to it. You can also swing it. All right, for this one, we're going to improvise over the second backing track. This is more in a jazz swing style, and I'll show you some tricks you can use. Here we go. And here it is. Play little lines. One little trick with this grip is I'll oftentimes harmonize it. You saw me do that at the end there when I was improvising, where I just grab like the A on the top, and I'll do what's called a little turn on the D. So I'm doing a harmonized turn. All right, before I teach you scale number 4, if you want to do a deep dive on your major blues scale, you want to learn a ton more techniques you can in our major blues scale courses. I'll put a link to those below. All right, scale number 4 is the super bluesy scale. If you were to improvise with this scale, it's called the Mixo-Blues scale. It sounds like this. So what the heck am I playing? Well, I'm actually playing 2 blues scales combined into one. It's called the Mixo-Blues scale. And basically, I'm combining the C minor blues scale with the C major blues scale. So the C minor blues scale is C, E flat, F, F sharp, G, B flat. Okay, that's the minor blues scale. Then the major blues scale is what I just taught you. It's C, D, D sharp, E, G, and A. And if you mix both scales, you end up with this amazing scale called the C Mixo-Blues scale. It's also like the C Mixo-Lydian scale mixed in with 2 additional blue notes. So that's why we call it the Mixo-Blues scale. Now for this scale, I do recommend that you first practice your grips because there are a lot of notes in this scale. So the first grip is going to be on the C. It's only 3 notes. The second grip is going to be on the E. Again, it's only 3 notes. And then the third grip is going to be on the G. Okay, and so this covers all of the notes of the Mixo-Blues scale. Once you're feeling good with these grips, then you can start to improvise lines. Maybe start with your C grip, and then go down to your G grip, and then maybe your E grip. Okay, and for this one, I like to do lots of slides off of the blue notes. So you can do an up slide to E, you can do a down slide to D. And the real key here is to try to mix both of these blues scales. So you might start a line playing like your minor blues scale, and then go to your major blues scale. See what I did there? Or you could start with your major blues scale, and then go to your minor blues scale. See what I'm doing? So we're kind of trying to mix the scales. All right, let's go ahead and play this one with the included backing track. And again, we'll play this one with the jazz swing backing track, and I'll show you some cool ideas. Here we go. Make sure you're playing little lines. All right, scale number 5 is for all of you who want to play more jazz piano. This is called the major bebop scale, and it has a super cool jazzy sound. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're playing the C major scale, but we're adding one note to this scale, which is a G sharp. This is like a little passing note that bebop musicians would add to their solos to add a little bit of color. And it's a really nice note because it just sort of briefly takes you away from the C major scale and back in. So it has a very jazzy sound, and it works on almost any jazz tune or like a swing tune. So for this one, you're gonna play 3 different grips. We have the C grip, we have the F grip, and then the A grip is actually only 2 notes, because from here, you're gonna want your thumb back on the C. So once you know the grips, you can start to improvise using this scale. So pick a grip, maybe pick your E grip, and start building some lines. Here's my line. Here's my line. All right, next we're gonna play with the included backing track, but before we do this, if you wanna learn more skills that you can use to improvise over major chords, we have a great beginner to intermediate level course on this, and if you're more on the intermediate to advanced side and you're playing more jazz chords, we also have a course for that level. So I'll put a link to both of those below, and let's go ahead and play with the backing track. Here we go. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the lesson, please let me know in the comments. Also, be sure to check out pianowithjonny.com. We have over 1,000 step-by-step lessons for all playing levels where you'll learn your favorite songs, styles, and how to improvise at the piano. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.